everyone, and welcome back to Bacon. Also, welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. We are continuing Waltz's route, and my allergies are kicking my butt, so if I sound a little nasally or a little scratchy, whichever way it goes, I apologize in advance. Let's continue. Let's see. Well, that just seems rude, so we're gonna go with I knew you'd come back. Thank you for trusting me. And immediately tells me it's right. Why can't you tell me it's immediately right more often? I always come back for you, no matter the risks. Aww, thank you. Don't speak, princess. Save your strength. Aww. And then as soon as I start, the cat wants in. How did you get in here? What? It looks like we made it just in time. Parfait steps through a hole in the wall that her outburst of magic created. She looks solemn. You. How dare you show your face here? You who tried to kill my beloved queen. Kill? Mithras raises his hand to cast a spell, but Parfait quickly freezes him in place with a flick of her wrist. I am surprised, but then I realize that Parfait is the Lucis bearer. Even in her weakened state, it seems that she is a force to be reckoned with. She turns to face me with a weak smile on her face. As the bearer of the crystal Lucis, it is my duty to stop Hildur. Such was my goal even back then. Even when the two of us were dear friends. How long ago was this goal? I know she means like after Hildur turned, but I'm still suspicious. While Parfait is speaking, Varg slowly moves forward with this cane. Because I'm still feeling like she allowed all this stuff to happen on purpose, willingly and knowingly. So, he seems just about ready to bring it down to the ground when Parfait turns in place and casts a spell. The magic hits the cane head on, shattering it on impact. Varg, however, seems surprisingly calm. It's a good thing that wasn't the only weapon I had, huh? Oh, he continues to be a sass. Ashes. Varg suddenly charges toward Parfait. Something silver and sharp glints in his hand. Parfait's like, nah, we're not having any of that nonsense. Parfait doesn't even move as she casts another spell, knocking Varg back against the wall. Didn't they mention in the last route she's really not supposed to be using her magic too much? Or was that earlier in this route? I swear I saw somebody mention that she wasn't really supposed to be using too much of her magic, though I don't know why. I mean, she seems to be doing just fine. I thought it was because she was too weakened to fight or something. The knife in his hand clatters to the ground. Varg staggers back to his feet. The mask covering his eyes falls from his face as he stands. When he looks up, I feel my blood turn cold. Fritz? Varg wags his finger at me, his smile crooked. Maybe I look like him a little, but you can't seriously think we're the same person, can you? I clutch Waltz's shirt between my fingers as I stare. Everything begins to feel hazy once again. What is going on? Lucette. Lucette! I hear my father before I see him. When I turn, he is limping toward us with a pained expression on his face. I can only assume that he somehow made it out of his cell or that someone helped him out. Waltz's arm is still there to support me as I walk toward my father. Father reaches out to touch both of my cheeks. His warmth makes me flinch. You are cold. I will be fine. Father clenches his fist and turns to Mithras. It's over now, Mithras. Not quite. A bright light suddenly surrounds the Tenebrarum and the whole room is engulfed in white. I should have killed you a long time, dear Gennaro. Oh no! What? Ugh. Father! I'm unable to see what has happened, but as soon as the light disappears, I see what horror has happened before me. I scream when I spot the large gash in my father's chest. Blood pours from a wound from a blade of light. I catch my father in my arms as he stumbles back. Waltz quickly comes to stand beside me to help me support him. Father! No, oh, now this kingdom is mine once again. The voice is familiar, but distantly so. It is a voice from my memories. I look up and suddenly there she is. My mother stands before me, beautiful and regal. Her eyes are cold, lacking any kind of love as she looks over at me. Lucette. Welcome back, my queen. Mithros, who has somehow managed to escape from Parfait, is now down on one knee before Mother. Hildur. Hello, dear Faye. It's been a while. Parfait puts a hand to her chest as she begins to cough. She collapses to her knees. Oh dear. You've grown weaker since we last fought. Lady Parfait. Mother's eyes snap to Waltz and narrow. I see that the traitor is here too. I also see that you've managed to reunite with my daughter. Mother flicks her wrist as she casts her spell. You will pay for what you did to me. Step back. Should she really keep casting spells right now? Can't Waltz do this? I mean, Waltz is kind of figuring it out again too, but still. Parfait quickly steps in front of us and an invisible barrier appears just as Mother conjures a series of sharp ice projectiles. They bounce harmlessly off the shield, but I can feel the rumble in the ground as they tumble down to the floor. Ugh. Parfait! Parfait is still kneeling on the ground. Now I can see blood on her lips. Oh no. Lucette. I look down at my father. His shirt is soaked with blood, but his eyes are still barely open. Is he gonna die? Father? I feel tears. What have you done? I feel tears brimming in my eyes. The room fills with light, this time emanating from the floor. Slowly our surroundings begin to blur. Go then. Run away, Parfait. That's all you have ever done. Parfait's voice is pressed in pain as she speaks. We will stop you, Hildur. The last thing I see is Mother's wicked smile, then the light swallows us whole. Did she just teleport a whole ton of people, and in that one route, she could barely even... Yeah, Karma! In Fritz's route, she could barely get away with Karma, and she just got away with a bunch of people. Oh dear. When the light fades, we're back in the Marchen. And she's already, like, bleeding internally out of her mouth. Parfait is still on the ground, though now she seems like she might sink into it. Lady Parfait. I'll be fine. Just call Rumpel. Quickly. Waltz darts from the room immediately. Father, please hold on. My father's clothes are now dyed in a thick crimson that stains my hands and dress. Moments later, Waltz returns with Rumpel. He pushes over to the king the moment he sees him. Rumpel tears my father's shirt open, revealing a deep wound on his chest. He quickly looks over his body, then attempts to apply pressure to the wound, but the bleeding does not stop. He's lost too much blood. Can't you do something? I will do my best, but there is only so much I can do, Princess. I cannot perform miracles. There's a faraway look in his eyes as he says this, an almost pained expression on his face. His helpless expression makes the panic surge in me again. You call yourself a doctor? Lucette, don't be that way. Lucette, calm down. I cannot lose him, Waltz. I don't have much time left, Lucette. I turn to look down at my father, my eyes filling with tears. No, don't say that, Father. I wanted to see you become queen, but it seems that this is the end for me. What? I collapse beside Father, and he reaches up a shaking hand to touch my wet cheek. Really? Protect our kingdom. You killed off the king? I can only nod at him. I will always be with you. I love you, Lucette, and I am proud that you are my daughter. You're killing off the king? Father smiles. They just made up in the best way possible, and then you friggin' kill. Why is it that the routes that just seem to make the most logical sense, for the most part anyway, are the ones where the most horrible things happen? Father smiles at me, and it is so genuine and warm that it brings fresh tears to my eyes. They just made up! His eyes slowly close, but the smile never leaves his lips. Father? I shake him, but he does not react. No. No! I lean over my father, willing him to come back to open his eyes, but he is no longer breathing. For the first time in my life, I cry for my father. Oh my gravy, why do you keep doing this to me, creators? You know, when people in the comments warn me that drama's about to happen, I'm just going to assume people die from now on, so I can be mentally prepared. And I'm going to assume it's the people I don't want to die are going to die. Because it seems to happen most of the time. This isn't okay! Ever since my father's death, I have locked myself in my room. I am filled with constant grief and pain, but have become numb on the inside. Even when I want to cry, the tears won't come. Lucette, I brought you something to eat. I am in no mood to eat. Waltz sets the tray down and walks toward me. The blankets crumble as he sits down beside me. Slowly he wraps his arms around me and strokes my hair. What happened wasn't your fault, Lucette. He did what any father would do for his daughter. He did not deserve to die the way that he did. By Mother's hand. I know. I curl my fingers into Waltz's shirt. I do not want to lose anyone anymore, Waltz. Waltz continues stroking my hair. It'll be fine, I promise. For now, you need to rest, Lucette. I'll be here by your side until you fall asleep. He's so pretty and so sweet. He plants a kiss on my forehead and I close my eyes, relishing his warmth. Waltz's hold is firm but comfortable, and I sink into his arms as I fall into a dreamless sleep. Days later, the palace announces father's death. It isn't long before Alcaster is given his crown. The announcement of his ascension comes with an explanation of the king's death. The palace paints me as a criminal, telling the townsfolk that I was the one who killed the king. I am labeled a fugitive, and the royal family is officially declared missing. We have all been hiding together since then, the royal family included. Now it has been 2 weeks since father died. The longer time moves on, the more aware I become of one gaping realization. Mother has not yet shown herself to the public. What could she be plotting? I place my hand over my heart, willing the pain away every... I place my hand over my heart, willing the pain away. Every time I think of Mother, I remember the sort of light that went through my father's body. Enough time has passed. Even though I am still suffering losses, I cannot stand idle. I have a promise to fulfill. I will protect our kingdom. I am about to go back to my room when Parfait calls me. Dolores stands beside her. Lucette, can we talk with you? I look away, avoiding their eyes. What is it that you want to discuss with me? It's about the Tenebrarum. Despite Hilda's revival, it appears that the crystal's light is still dim. That can only mean one thing. Hilda is still weak. Still weak? Hilda was absorbing all of your powers when we found you. We interrupted the process. The crystal was not able to absorb all of the magic you now possess. That is why she is still weak. Also, there was something else that bothered me about the crystal. Something odd. Odd? A bearer has a very strong bond with their crystal, a mutual relationship of sorts, but that bond was absent when she returned. What are you saying? It seems as if the crystal is forsaking their bond. What? It seems even the crystal knows that Hilda's time has come and gone. Princess, the crystal has already chosen you as its next bearer. It's a small blessing, but it doesn't change the fact that Hilda is still the strongest witch. At least, that is what she wants us to think. Parfait and Dolores exchange a glance. The crystal has chosen its next bearer, and you have just as much potential, if not even more. Dolores turns to me, her usually lax expression more solemn. Are you ready to learn magic, Lucette? Magic that you will potentially use to defeat your mother? I have never used magic before in my life. I have never been raised as a witch, and using magic to defeat Mother? I do not know. Well, regardless of what decision you make, we'll all be here to support you. Dolores and I want you to know that. How is it they are still willing to help me when I was the one that caused this whole mess? I need some fresh air. I begin to walk toward the door when I see Ophelia walk in from the tavern. Our eyes briefly meet and she opens her mouth to say something, then stops when I shake my head. I do not want to hear her blame me for my father's death. Certainly that must be what she is thinking. Ophelia frowns but does not speak. I quicken my pace, almost running as I head into the forest. The night is silent and calm, and the only sound I can hear is the gentle sway of the grass as I step through it. Mother is back because of me. If I hadn't revived her, Father would still be alive. How am I supposed to face everyone knowing that? Waltz has been trying to cheer me up. While I appreciate his company and concern, even he cannot help me come to terms with my mistakes. I hear footsteps behind me. I turn to see Waltz approaching with a frown on his face. Lucette, please, I am not in the mood to listen to your reassurances again. I I do not need you to tell me this was not my fault. Lucette, your father wouldn't want to see you like this. How would you know what my father wanted? I snap at him without meaning to, not bothering to hide the irritation in my voice. He'd want you to walk forward, not linger on a past that cannot be changed. You've been distancing yourself from us since the keen past. Don't think I haven't noticed. Why is that? Because this is the only way I can keep them safe. Okay. We have a choice between what are you talking about and not saying anything. Well, that's clearly a lie. I kind of would prefer this because that way she's not answering, but also she's not lying either. You know that I'll always be by your side, Lucette. Shouldering the burden will only worsen your pain. Worsen? I already know the pain of losing someone that I love. I have brought nothing but suffering to those around me. I cannot get close to anyone again lest I put them in danger. I have already lost my father and I do not want to lose anyone else. Especially not you, Waltz. Oh, it was the right one. Waltz's eyes widen as he stares at me. I want to show you something. Keep your eyes open, Lucette. You can't miss it. Waltz snaps his fingers and golden orbs of light suddenly spring to life around us. Aww. I can only marvel at the orbs of light floating around us. They look like stars dancing through the night. It's beautiful. It's like the bubbles. You cannot truly appreciate how bright a star is without darkness. Aww! He's smooth! Waltz snaps his fingers again and most of the lights go out. During difficult times, the lights grow dimmer. He snaps again until only one light remains. When you're all alone, it grows even dimmer still. There are things that you cannot do on your own, otherwise you risk snuffing your own light out. Another snap and the golden orbs return, this time in great numbers. The lights are brighter than they were before. You're not alone, Lucette. I love you and it hurts to see you suffer alone like this. Ah, cute! My heart is pounding so hard I fear it might escape my chest. In this moment, it feels as if time has stopped and it's just the two of us. All I can see is Waltz. As I stand here staring at him, I come to a realization. I love him. They came to the realization of their feelings much quicker than all the other routes. And I was told that this is the golden route, or has the golden ending, rather. So I'm kind of feeling like Waltz is the canon, so to speak, because in every single dating sim that you ever come across, there's always that one guy in particular who is technically, they're all, you know, they're all available. You can choose whichever ship that you want to ship, of course, and that is your canon ship, but there's always that one person who tends to be a little more canon than the rest. And I'm kind of feeling like that's Waltz. And good thing for me that despite the king dying so far, honestly, Waltz has been my favorite route just because I freaking love Waltz. When did this happen? Cutie pie. After a few moments, I realize that it does not matter. I stand up on the tips of my toes so that I can cup Waltz's face in my hands. I move before I can think, leaning over to place a light kiss on his lips. There she goes, surprising all these guys. I feel an arm around me as Waltz pulls me closer. The kiss becomes more heated and I feel a gentle flame stirring in my stomach even as my mind becomes foggy. Sorry, I need to catch my breath. Oh. I feel the heat in my cheeks and have to fight back my embarrassment. I just kissed Waltz. Oh no! I look up at Waltz, suddenly realizing how close he is to me. I quickly bury my face into his chest to hide my embarrassment. Waltz's chest rises and falls with his gentle laughter. You're so cute. I close my eyes, allowing his warmth to envelop me like a blanket. I love you, my little star. Aww! This is not just your battle anymore, Lucette. You don't have to carry this burden alone. So please, trust in me. Trust in us. I am overwhelmed, but Waltz's words make me feel strangely light, as if a weight has truly been lifted from my shoulders. I will. Thank you. We should go back now, or else everyone might get worried. Waltz places a soft kiss on my forehead and smiles at me as he pulls away. He extends a hand towards me. Let's go, my little star. Aw. I smile as I slowly take his hand. We walk back to the march in hand, momentarily forgetting about all the bad things that have transpired. Alright, I'm gonna stop there. Thank you guys for joining me. I am Bacon, and this so far has been Cinderella Phenomenon, Waltz's route. Honestly, if I had to rank the routes that I've played so far, I would have to say Waltz, then Karma, then Rod. I really like Rod and I really like Karma, but Waltz is definitely my number one so far. The route itself hasn't been anything too crazy exciting except for the king dying. Yes, darling, it's upsetting to me too. Clearly. But, so as far as the story and everything goes, that's actually been just kind of pretty basic. It's still been really cute. There just hasn't been like as much going on as say in all the other routes typically going on, if that makes any sense. But Waltz has been making this route worth it. As in, I would still play the route and I would still be entertained by the route, even though there's not as much stuff going on. Again, except for certain fathers dying. But Waltz himself just makes the entire thing that much more enjoyable. He's just so patient and he's so sweet and he's got that sass and he's goth boyfriend renewed. He's new goth boyfriend. I don't know. Waltz is just my number one favorite. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about doing Waltz's route just because, you know, you're so used to the kid version of him. And then having him become an adult and his behavior and his personality. I'm in love with Waltz's personality. Like, 100%. Give him any other physical attribute, like change up how he looks any which way you want to, as long as he's still an adult, please. And give him the same personality and I would still fall in love with him. I'm going to be honest. Same personality, same interactions, no matter how he looked, I would just fall in love with him all over again because I'm in love with his personality. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me, like I said. If you like the video, feel free to like the video. If you like me, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, all that lovely stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!